I'm thinking
Wisdom Wednesdays, Maya.
thank you for correcting. Yes, that is such a tongue twister for me. All right, so welcome. So this week, it'll be just me and Desiree, and Jill is in her Mexico. I'm still jealous. She's going to her um,
Yeah.
all right. So today we're going to be talking about detoxification. Detoxification. So we're going to be talking about detox, lifestyle detox. Anyway, so checking in. Desiree, how are you feeling today?
Okay. We're going to be talking about it afterwards, but the energy, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Lots of opportunities for release, lots of realizations, lots of, yeah. So the past 2 days I've been feeling like in the water. It's just like not drowning in it, but just really like feeling the absorption of things. And I'm just like, why am I absorbing? And so, yeah, so it's like, I've been feeling a lot of the collective's energy of the sadness and the anger of all the things that have been going on in the world, all the just like tragic things happening around in the world. So yesterday I was feeling like this sadness and anger, and I was like, what am I feeling right now? This is not my stuff. Like, it's very expensive, like very not expensive. It's very big. So I was like, oh, I'm feeling the collective stuff. Like, things are really coming out again. Like the tragedies in the schools and just in other places that are experiencing some really not so great stuff. But then it also gave me opportunity to heal from some of the things that I was going through. So that actually like triggered other things to happen that I'm actually dealing with directly. So yeah, so lots of opportunity for release, and it's been pretty interesting. I am at the overload phase where it's like oversensitivity with like just my environment and within to like in internal and outside environment. So I'm just like, okay, I think it's time to hermit. But yeah, so just feeling like probably need to recharge and rest and recharge. So how about you, Maya?
Yeah. So this week is a very interesting week. I like this week I've had my ups and downs too. I remember this week I was very tired. Just very
Mm-hmm.
tired. So if you're wondering if it's normal to feel tired or very sensitive around this time, it's very normal to feel really tired, very sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
just because like the solstice, came in, and then all those wonderful energies started moving in. The moon was one of them, and the planets and stuff like that. Everything's just shifting all together. So for me, it was
Mm-hmm.
like right at during the solstice, I didn't feel as much. So I was like pretty balanced. I think it was when it was like what when it started moving on the 23rd. Yeah, right
Mm-hmm.
around the 23rd,
Yeah.
and the energy was just very fiery. It was very fiery. It was playful but fiery. But then I was feeling all these root chakras coming up my butt, and I was like, I was like, that's what I said. It was fire. It's like I was like, okay, is this normal? It was like a new energy that came in, and for me,
Yeah. Does that explain why? It might be
I
too much information. No, just keep going.
I was seeing all this root chakra energies coming in, and it was like it spiked. Like it wasn't like those energies where it
Mm-hmm.
just come in. It spiked my energy. It was like it felt like another phase. So to me, it felt like another phase I was opening, but because I was more
Mm-hmm.
open, so I was more open and I wasn't as closed. I'm like, okay, if this is what is meant to be, I guess I'll get this energy. But then it
Yeah.
spiked my energy, and at first it feels you're really tired. You could have a lot of emotions coming through with that new energy,
Mm-hmm.
the funny thing is it came around like right around the solstice, the new moon, and all
Mm-hmm.
that Pluto and all that stuff came together. But it was a good one for me because I was clearing. I was really purging, clearing a lot of stuff. But a lot of things were clearing was my throat, which is restriction and speech and freedom and everything was opening. But the thing is, it was opening so fast. Like with all that Pluto energy, it was like
Mm-hmm.
it was opening so fast. Like no, 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 no. What? like. So it's like so for me, this week was like we gotta slow down. We gotta close this door too fast.
Yeah.
We gotta go slow. So that was
Uh-huh.
my week. It was just like it's great energy because like this door was opening, but it's kind of like, are you ready for the door? I mean, like you say you
Mm-hmm.
are ready, but when the door is opening and you're like you're in pause mode and freeze mode, like I don't think I'm really ready. I think I said I was ready, but it was helping me. It was helping me in a lot of stuff, but for me, I felt was this week is a lot of purging. I think everyone felt their own purge, a lot of
Yeah.
clearing. But it also gave you a sense of direction too. Come like, hey
Mm-hmm.
Maya,
Mm-hmm.
this habit of yours has got to go. What?
Yep.
This time management that you are wasting your time is done. What?
Yeah.
This project that you invested is pretty much done. What? So but it was a great way. It was like a declutter for
Yeah.
me. So, um,
Yeah.
mine wise, I mean, like I had to do a lot of sleeping and I had to do some breath work. I did have to touch some of my energy points on the head just because like it was just so much. I don't know how people's like collectives are or their consciousness, but it was just so much in my head. I was like, oh man, we got to get out of this headspace. But I did have a lot
Mm-hmm.
of spots where my mind was very low, where it was like I was just thinking like a lot of negativity, lower vibrational.
Mm-hmm.
But then I paused and I was like, this is not me. This is my body processing a lot of this. Like all this,
Right.
my body was like, this is my body's processing. Because like I noticed that when my body's processing, I also get this like negative, like really like it's a really low vibration, but I just know that it's just my body, like my emotional body's responding like I'm gonna run away. I'm like, oh heck no, it
Yeah.
ain't running.
Yeah.
We're doing this together.
Yep.
So that was like this week's what I felt this week. Yeah, I think this week
Yeah.
now for the collectives, we're feeling the overload effect when we call it the energy from the solstice comes and it hammers us like crazy. And it's I call it the after. I think like we get this with solstice. Sometimes we get it before the solstice. I'm noticing that more and more is always it's becoming more like after the solstice
After. Yeah.
or during the solstice. This happens to the moon. I don't know which moon it was, but maybe it was like this moon
Oh
or the
my
last
gosh.
moon. It was the after
The
effect. It was like
past three, the past three moons.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the same for me. I was like, oh, wow, I'm good. I'm leading up to the moon. And then afterwards, it was like, boom. And it was like, I thought this was supposed to happen leading up to the moon and on the moon. Yeah, no,
Yes.
I feel you.
Yeah. So I call it like, the after effect, which is everyone is feeling after we feel the full effects a few days after. Maybe you might feel like
Mm-hmm.
5 days after, 3 days after. And the funny thing is Pluto in Aquarius just amplifies everything. It's just like,
Yeah.
but it's a good one.
Uh-huh.
It
Yeah.
pushes us in a direction where we need to go.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So we were actually relating our experiences together to the actual planetary shift of Pluto going into Aquarius. Um, so you said you were so okay. So for me, for example, like what's been happening since then on the 23rd was this whole like releasing of this codependency type of like dynamic. So feeling so when I'm in my feels, right? So it's like people throughout my life, I haven't felt like people don't really know how to emotionally support me. because of the depths that I can go through it, or go to when I'm in my emotional state. And so there's this like, okay, so I can provide for others in that way because I know how through the depths of emotions you can get. But then when it comes to me, it's like, oh, but then you don't know how to provide for me, because you don't, because I don't know, you just don't fully understand it, whatever. So this like mechanism happens where it's like, okay, if I provide this for you, then you have to provide this for me emotionally too. So it's just like, okay, no, you got you and only you. You got you. You have to learn how to provide this for yourself. At the end of the day, the only person that we can depend on and truly trust on is ourselves. And the only person that we truly have is ourselves. Everybody else is fleeting. They could just, at any moment, and not just relationship, but just in the moment. So like feeling this lack of support or feeling misunderstood, I had to let that go, let it go. And so that, and then also this like freedom to do what feels best for me without attaching to the judgments of other people. Because ultimately we know what's best for us. So that deals with this whole shift that's happening when Pluto is going into Aquarius. We're dealing with this energy that is encouraging us to be more independent, to change our relationship to freedom, to be more authentic in us, and to like really step into our authenticity and be firm with it too. Like you don't have to be sorry for being you. You don't have to be sorry for wanting what you want in the moment. And then also trying to come together and learning how to accept one another for who we are with our differences. So yeah. What about you, Maya? You were experiencing some of those relations as well, like restrictions to freedom?
I think there's I don't think it's just me, but I think everyone's feeling the restriction where they're being, a lot of freedom is being open for people. So the question people, if you're watching, what are you being free from? What are you being free
Yeah.
from? I'm gonna tell you in my throat. It's like my freedom of
freedom of
speech.
speech. Yeah.
So because in 2008, I think that's when it started happening, is when, I started losing the speech, what I said, no, it's not being heard. And now it's like this prison is like being freed, like this prisoner is being freed. And now like my voice can open and like, and it was even before, it was like the past 4 weeks is like, I'm being heard. What's going on? Like what's going on? That's because the energies like a month before, that Pluto, it was like things were starting to shift already. It wasn't fully shifting, but it was like it was the melting phase. And I didn't understand it until like, you were saying Pluto. I'm like, oh, you mean freedom? What? I was looking freedom? But I didn't know exactly what I was being free from. It was like your voice, your throat, your speech.
Oh,
You're free to be yourself now.
We all need that.
So that was amazing. So
yeah, for sure.
Leading up to our topic discussion, so we're gonna start. So we're gonna be talking about spiritual detox. So what is a spiritual detox? The spiritual detox is the physical body's response to processing and releasing energy trapped in the mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical body. It is removing those toxins and any apparent energies that are trapped in our chakras, our subtle bodies, aurora, or energetic field system. So the energetic field systems is our, like I call it the biofields, the fields within your body, energetic body. When these energies are trapped in our bodies, the body becomes very overheated and overloaded, and it sometimes becomes trapped and stuck. So just think like a tornado. The body becomes very, overheated and it's overload and sometimes trapped and stuck, and then it blows up. Things can that can happen. Not that you could, not, but we're not talking about that. So it's stuck because our bodies. It's stuck because our bodies are like a magnetic strip, so it attracts and repels sometimes. So the energy when it attracts So the thing about energy is when it attracts, then it can't move because you're a magnet, so it can't move. And when it attracts to other energies due to higher vibrations. So for instance, if your energy is higher vibration, and whatever is attracting to you, like an energy, is attracting to that vibration, but that it can't go any higher. That vibration or energy or subtle body just stays trapped on your body because it can't move higher with the vibration. So,
Mm-hmm.
so with that said, so the stuck energies are also known as, spiritual attachments, entities, parasites. It could be objects, vortexes, people's thoughts, emotions, on other people's energies that are trapped. There's so many things that could be trapped. Even for me, like I one time had this energy. My guts had a detox, and I went into a dream state. A ship came out of my body. I was like, "What?" I was
What? What did you say? A
like
ship?
like a mini ship came out of my body because my
Oh,
body.
ship. What? I thought you said shit.
No, like a ship. No, like one of those like spaceships came out of my body, and then like because your body is like a vortex, so that's why. And there's like sometimes like people's
Yeah.
bodies, and like entities get trapped in my body. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
so weird. But anyway, so there's many things that could be trapped. Sometimes it could be like implants or stuff like that. A
Mm-hmm.
spiritual detox is clearing the energy from your fields and removing people's energy from your body and removing other people's electric body circuits, which is like energy again. It's very more energetic. During this spiritual detox, our bodies, such as our mental and emotional subtle bodies, can enter a state of processing and integrating in our emotions and our thoughts. So this process could take a few days or even several days. So for me, sometimes my processing and integrating when I'm doing a spiritual detox, it could be a week. I've had times where I had to
Mm-hmm.
process and integrate for 7 weeks. So it could take, it just kind of varies person to person.
Yeah, and it can even be like a physical process too, which we'll get into in the next section too. But yeah, that's definitely it does take a while for certain instances. So yeah. Oh, thank you. So now we're going to talk about the benefits of a spiritual detox. So the benefits of a spiritual detox is where you have better management of the stressors from life. So it clears toxic energy, negativity from your field. It improves your physical, mental, and emotional health. Obviously, spiritual health as well. And it reduces anxiety and depression. It clears the mental fog. You have a more well-rested mind. You're not all over the place. And you are not so susceptible to like interferences. And then it also reduces emotional and physical pain. As far as the emotional, you're more relaxed, you're less grouchy. You feel more aligned, more balanced, and in harmony. And then you also have better self-control. So you're not really like going off the wall and responding in specific ways that probably are not sufficient for the situation. But you have more control of your reactions and responses to your emotions or to life circumstances. So you have less resistance to life's circumstances, and you're more in this like accepting phase where you're like, oh, okay, yeah, and owning up to it, and knowing what needs to be released and what energy we're coming into as we release those. So this process of spiritual detox also removes spiritual attachments and entities, or reduces our vulnerability to attachments, and it also raises our vibration. So that's good. Because as you said before, right, like it's hard to raise our vibrations when we have these attachments that are keeping us stuck. So doing that, like a spiritual detox, would really help with leveling up if is what some people say, but I don't like levels. But whatever you want to label it, hiring the vibration.
Yes. All right. So, what are some ways to spiritual detox? Meditation, journaling, yoga, qigong, breath work, sound healing. I wouldn't recommend like heavy sounds, like sound baths. I wouldn't recommend like heavy stuff, but sound healing, something that's very light, like I mean light music or like crystal singing bowl, something that's really soothing to help your body process. Aromatherapy, such as like essential oils and incense. I use a lot of aromatherapy. I like aroma sprays and I like essential oils and I like incensing because I just that aroma just really helps change the flavors or taste of the room. Herbal therapy, which is like teas and incorporating herbs and foods that just helps you nurture, helping nurturing your body. Self care is another one. Some ways to spiritual detox, self care, massage, body work, chiropractor. That just really helps you physically, because like whenever I'm getting adjusted or I'm having some type of body work or massage or even a facial, that just really changes. Like it really changes because it helps loosen some of that ends. Taking a ritual bath, I do that sometimes. Cleansing the house, which we're going to be talking about that in the next week. We'll be talking about house detoxing, so it's important to cleanse the house also. Energy work to cut cords or release blockages. I'm gonna tell you, I use energy work to help me with spiritual detox. I use energy work to cut cords, and I use it to release blockages and then clearing space. So I use energy work for a lot of stuff. And then another way is removing spiritual attachments. It's very important for us to detach with um, detach with any entities or spiritual attachments when we're doing a spiritual detox, because that just really clears a space for us, and it's healthy for ourselves, and it helps with our mind, like mindfulness and wellness. So next question is, one of my favorite rituals to spiritual detox is, I'm going to start first. I'm going to tell everyone what my favorite ritual to spiritual detox. Sleeping.
Yes. Sleep.
When I tell people, they're like giving me all these like what they love, and I'm like, I just love sleeping, okay? With no noise. Especially if you have kids or you have people in the house who talk a lot. It's just nice to sleep with no one talking, no music or anything. So when I wake up with
Yeah.
no noise, I'm just like, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, but anyways, I like sleeping, and the reason is why sleeping is my favorite ritual is sleeping for spiritual detox. So for me, my body, my spirit needs to leave the body. So I do a lot of out of body experience, which is my spirit needs to leave the body. And I know when my spirit's like, I need to go now. I need to be out now, 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 now. I hear this when I start hearing that voice, I'm like, it needs to be grounded. It needs to be grounded, not from here, but it needs to be spiritually
Hmm.
grounded. So it has to leave my body, and I go to sleep, and it goes where it needs to do with its business, clearing itself, and it travels, astrally. And my guides, everyone has to reset it, and then once it's grounded and reset, it comes back to the body, and it's a happy spirit again.
Yeah.
So other favorite rituals I love to do is massage. I love massage on my neck and my scalp. And I know with massage with my neck and scalp, everyone is terrible at it, so I have to do it myself. um, just 'cause, like no one knows your energy points in your head, and you only know
Yeah.
your energy. So that's the problem.
Hmm.
It's not like they're terrible. It's just the energy points in your head, and no one does. And I love it with essential oils. And I also love fragrance because that really changes it changes my mood swings,
Hmm.
especially with spearmint. If you ever use spearmint essential
Spearmint.
oils and you spray it in the morning, like at your desk or before your work, it changes your thoughts. Like, I'm at work. I'm in a good mood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Breath work.
Mint usually does that.
Yeah, it does. I also, other ones I love is breath work and just really silence. What about you,
Yeah.
Jess?
So when I think about spiritual detox, I think about meditation first. So during my meditations, I like to do a like morning and night clearing. But just maintaining that and doing that, but going into a deeper kind of like releasing blockages, clearing the energy field, cleansing the aura, cutting cords, severing ties to attachments, terminating contracts, all of that juicy stuff. And then I also enjoy sound healing. So I've been into very ethereal music, like very watery music that really puts me into that space. Also binaural beats to specific frequencies. So whatever I'm need to do at the time, I set it to, I listen to a specific frequency. And then also I like singing bowls as well too. Breath work, like you said, I do enjoy breath work as well. It really helps to reset the system and connect more with, as we connect more with our breath, we connect more to our spirit. So that really helps as well. And then I like incense and essential oils too. It helps me really connect. And I think when we use our physical senses, and especially the ones that we're very more dominant in, it really helps us connect and learn how to like release and detox the crap. So yeah, those are the ones that I can think of for right now. Those are the ones that are coming to mind. So let's see. Okay, so what are signs that our body needs a spiritual detox? So one of the signs is that our body is just responding to stress. So our physical body is responding to stress. It's exhausted, it's drained, it's in pain with the muscles and joints. Another sign is manifesting some kind of illness, depression, anxiety, colds, even the flu. We could also experience getting easily angered, easily frustrated, irritated, easily triggered. We could experience paranoia, worry, and agitation, and always like feeling this negativity within and around us. So negative energy within, around, and then feeling overly emotional, carrying too much baggage. So a lot of empaths tend to do this, but we carry other people's stuff, and then we get overwhelmed, and then we get overly emotional, overly sensitive. And that's for sure. If you're watching this, you probably experience that a lot. And another sign is that like mentally, when life just doesn't make sense, when you don't feel any kind of sense of connection, purpose, meaning, you're not really connected to the spirit in those ways. So feeling disconnected from the self, feeling disconnected from people or surroundings, feeling disconnected from earth. So star seeds, if you're feeling disconnected from earth, that's a sure sign that your body needs a spiritual detox. When your heart and mind are not in alignment, when they're like going against each other and they're like kind of like arguing or fighting or whatever, like a married couple that's fighting. You gotta like to come back into that unity. We need to do a spiritual detox. And then also becoming easily influenced by other people, taking people's like judgments into like attaching to the judgments, attaching to the criticisms in a negative way, um, having a lack of a sense of boundaries or not being able to put boundaries down, having like this a lack of ability to discern. So discerning what's yours and what's other people's stuff, or just even discerning what types of energies you don't really want to hold on to, um, that are actually like pulling or keeping you stuck. Um, and then with another sign is that when you're like in a vulnerable state and you feel like this lack of safety or support, um, because we can be in a vulnerable state, but if it's like off balance, then that usually is a sign that we need some spiritual detoxing. Also, if you're super sensitive and you have unmanageable empathy, so learning how to manage empathy would be really great to like clear out those attachments, clear out any of the um, really cleansing and detoxing from any kind of attachment, spiritual attachments. So yeah, those are the signs that your body needs a spiritual detox, body and mind.
All right. So we're going to start with true or false. Mindfulness is required when we are doing a spiritual detox.
Da,
False.
da, da.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't. Okay. False. So meditation isn't required when we're doing a spiritual detox. I'm one of those. I don't always use mindfulness when we're doing a spiritual detox. It's not required for detox. Some people are more of a processor, which is like their body just they just do what their body is called, which is like, you need a massage. Some people go more of a self care way, which is they know that their
Mm-hmm.
body needs self care. So
Yeah, for sure.
meditation is required when we are doing a spiritual detox. True or false? False. Meditation isn't required when we are doing a spiritual detox. It is beneficial, but not
Mm-hmm.
required. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's one way of detoxing, of
yes.
spiritual detoxing, but there are other
It's not.
ways.
Yes, it's not unnecessary. Okay, so question number 7. How does our bodies
Oh.
and minds typically respond when we are doing a spiritual detox? So your body may be experiencing processing and integrating. So you could be experiencing hot and cold episodes, not related to menopause, of course. um,
Yeah.
you could be experiencing flu, colds, minimum illness. I get that. I get these baby flus. Like they start manifesting for a day
Mm-hmm.
and then next day they're gone. I'm like, what?
Yep. Yep.
It was like, oh, it's just a release. You did
Peekaboo.
you did your shadow work already, Ma. It
Yeah.
was just but sometimes you get sometimes you'll get the really big ones, and when I start getting the really big ones, which is like a really big cold like for a week, I just know that yeah, my body needs to clear that out.
Mm-hmm.
Other ones are, what you could be your body or mind could respond to is being more emotional. So with emotional, you could experiencing ups and downs. You could have a super down thing and then go woo super high. It's just like okay. You could be very sensitive during this time because it's more like sensitivity doesn't mean you're weak. It's just a way your body responding to changes happening in your body. I get that too. Cravings for certain things or feel the need to eat healthier. I get this sometimes too, which all of a sudden you do a spiritual detox, like, you know what, I need more herbs. Or like your brain will just literally tell you like you need this type of herb more in your
Yeah.
diet. or you need this type of food more in your diet, and then you
Mhm.
instantly go buy for it. So, or you
Mhm.
also feel like you need to exercise more, or you need to eat healthier
Yeah.
more. So you'll have these cravings. Um, Other ones is changing the layout in your home. This happens to me too. Meaning like all of a sudden, like you're during the process when you're in your spiritual detox process, you're like, oh, I need to clean my living room. Oh, this does not feel right. This should be. It's like your graphic designing the
Yeah.
house. It's all of a
Yeah.
sudden like sofa should be over here. It's not aligned. This is why we're not getting. This is the problem. Mostly with changing the layout in your home, this usually happens mostly with people when they're doing a spiritual detox and they're clearing attachments or entities from their fields or any energetic blocks. So sometimes when you're moving those things out of your fields, all of a sudden your body wants to move. You want to change the layout in your house.
Mhm.
Sometimes it could be clearing out the house or the wardrobe, getting rid of things that don't feel good or aligned to anymore. So if you were
Mhm.
just an example, if it was the solstice and you start cleaning your wardrobe, you know what you're detoxing from. I'm just saying. Um, Other ones is driven to do new things. All of a sudden, you're motivated also to learn new things. So anything like you're driven, like, oh, you're attracted to new things, or you're motivated to learn new things. That's your body is responding. Being more open to change or the process or your journey. Others is feeling much lighter. Like all of a sudden, all this heaviness is like it's just lighten up. And
Mhm.
other one, and the last one is inspired to do spiritual practices, especially in grounding ones. So it could be like all of a sudden you realize you need to ground more, or you need to use a new adding a new modality to grounding, or you're just really drawn to certain like spirituality. Come like, oh, I'm really drawn to shamanism. Oh, I'm drawn to this. I'm drawn to this type of energy. So all of a sudden you're inspired to it. So
Mhm. I find that some people are inspired to get a tower reading too.
oh yeah.
Like, and the people that you wouldn't really expect it to be from, too. There's like, I'm thinking about doing a tower reading. I'm like, wait, you what? Oh, they're going through that process now. Okay, let's go. Let's do
Oh,
this.
you're having a oh yeah, that's yeah. Sometimes like
Yeah.
I know like you'll know like I know like first timers like when they're beginning their spiritual awakening and they get the
Mm-hmm.
first healing, and all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden they're really drawn to certain things and things
Yep.
start shifting. It doesn't always shift right away.
Right.
Sometimes it can shift while, but there's something that moved out of their field and now they can move
Yeah.
forward.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah. Awesome. Well, do we want to talk about our spiritual detoxing experiences?
Yes. Why don't you start us off, Desiree, about spiritual detox?
You know what? I'm going to actually tell you all about the most recent experience and not like my first experience or whatever, the most recent. Um, Especially with being someone who helps guide people through the healing process, with like energy alchemy and all that stuff. Like, I experience a lot of like, vulnerabilities to the energies that just naturally vibrate with my energetic field because I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. We all have our stuff. So it kind of like it like pokes it. And it's like, oop. Because I find that the things that actually stick from other people are the things that I have to release within myself. So when I experienced that, like this past weekend, I did an event. Both of us did an event. And so doing the healings that I did for that event, I've felt so heavy afterwards. And I was like, shit, I need to do a detox, a spiritual detox. Um, and the thing is like when it comes to spiritual detox, it's not like a one-time thing where it's just like, okay, we're doing this process and boom, gone. No. Sometimes it takes days to do. the spiritual detox, and not just the processing part, but more of like the clearing, the cutting cords, the um, severing these ties, as these magnetic, um, what did you call it? As like an energetic charge from other people. Um, Severing those ties, severing attachments, and all that stuff, letting go of, releasing the blockages that were triggered, and all that stuff. So all that stuff, it's a process. And so, like, for the past few days, I'm actually in the middle of it. I've been experiencing detoxing. So I've been detoxing in many different ways. And usually, when I feel like I need a spiritual detox, is when my emotions are I become overly emotional. I become overly sensitive. My constitution is mostly water, so I tend to show overwhelm in a very emotional way. But other than that, I can be like pretty good with going into an observational space, but when I cannot, like, literally have no capacity to, I know I need a spiritual detox. So so that's when I me in particular have to go into hermit mode to do a spiritual detox. And so, yeah, those are like the signs for myself, the way that it manifests in my body. When I need a spiritual detox, it's just emotional, very emotional. And a lot of the times I just don't know what it is until afterwards, like the full moon or the new moon, finding out afterwards, like, oh yeah, crap, I didn't know that I was holding on to these things. And I didn't know that these attachments were on me. Until you feel that emotional overwhelm or the mental fog. Actually, the mental fog happens a lot too, where it's like, yeah, it's just there's not as much clarity. So, yeah, I think that's my most recent experience. How about you, Mai?
So my thing with spiritual detox is like, I realize I have to do a spiritual detox is when I start developing a lot of body stress. So my body starts taking out down a little more than usual. So that just means that my body's carrying more energy and my body cannot handle it. And for me, I've had a meltdown before where my body had too much stress and then I just quit on everything. so once you have that one big experience where your body breaks down and it hits you mentally, physically, energetically, spiritually, then you know that once you have experienced that one time, you will always remember that. So I always remember that, like, when my body starts developing a lot of body stress, then my mind goes, do you remember the time that, yeah, this is where it's going to lead to? So I have a pre-warning before it starts. So when I start having that feeling, I know what it feels like. So when I start realizing I have a lot of body stress, and that just tells me that I need some time out. And for now, it just tells me that I don't need to go extreme, like extreme on spiritual detox, but I need to go have some spiritual detox. So for me, it's like I have to cut cords with thoughts, like with everyone's thoughts, like because like our thought, my thoughts are connected to everybody. So when I realize that my body is having too much body stress, then the first thing I know is like I need to cut cords. Cutting cords with my friend, like the first people I cut cords is the people I'm closest to, because I'm like,
for sure.
because you're so connected and you're feeling their energy, you're feeling their thoughts, their emotions. And the first thing I do is I cut cords with them. And it's like, I love you, but I need my me time, my own brain and my own space. So I start cutting cords with my loved ones. I don't cut cords with my children because my children, they're not like really, our brains are not like this. We're kind of like, you do your own thing, I do my own thing. So that's how we are at. But it's mostly like people I'm very close to, like my boss, like your friends, anyone who's very spiritual or who's a powerful healer or a shaman or anything, anyone that I
Yep.
know that they're strong, I cut
We do it
cords.
from each other.
Yes, we cut cords because I know that because their their eye is really powerful, and that could be influencing me. So I cut cords with them. I create a space for myself, and I create this sacred space because then I have to have this space for my body, because I don't want anyone's energy, anyone tapping in, because I know that this is my time. Because if I know that if I don't do this process, then my physical body is going to fall apart. My thoughts, I'm going to be angry, going to be agitated. I'm going to be
Mm-hmm.
grouchy. I'm going to start blaming people for things that they didn't do. Uh, and then things will, and then,
There's that fire.
and then I'm gonna set fire to the house, and then the boyfriend will yell at me, and I'll yell at it goes on. So it's for me, it's like I could prevent all this by just doing my
Yeah.
own spiritual
Yeah.
detox. So
Mm-hmm.
that's when when I start feeling agitated or angry, every time I get angry, I was like, "Where's that anger coming from?" I was like, "Is that my
Yeah.
anger? Someone's anger?"
Yeah.
So when I realize I have sometimes I'm terrible at self-care and managing time, so and I don't pay attention to the attention of my body's needs. When I'm
Mm-hmm.
realizing there's a lot of things happening to me, like mentally, like my thoughts are clogged, or like I'm
Mm-hmm.
always constantly, my thoughts are negative, or I'm feeling really angry, and you're like you're cutting cords, if it doesn't go away, then that means like, oh shit, I need a spiritual detox. It's like, because like
Yeah.
when you start cutting cords and nothing is going anywhere, and then like you're clearing all the space, it's not going anywhere, then that's when I know, like, oh yeah, I gotta do a super big cleanse. I
Mm-hmm.
need to do a super big spiritual detox, because it might be more than it might be more than what I think it is. So
Yeah.
that's when I know
Mm-hmm.
it's something deep. Anyways, when I realize those things, then I know I have to detox. Sometimes I have little detox, spiritual detox for me is like, a ritual bath, like I know, that's, I take a ritual bath,
Yeah.
or instancing. So I try to do I don't like to do the big spiritual detox, because like for me, I don't like taking so much time to myself. I know it's not like greed or selfishness. It's just like it's just I don't like to do it. Like that's just my thing. I just believe like if I keep doing self-care, and keep doing self-care, and keep doing little mini spiritual detox, then I will avoid the big one. It's my thing. But
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
anyways, so the thing is, like, your body, anyone's body could start physically manifest illness and developing body stress, and that's
Yeah.
when we start physical manifesting that means that you need to do spiritual detox. Because I know, like, for me, I start manifesting like runny nose, or like all of a sudden like, and that could be because I start slacking off on my vitamins too. Again, that's self-care. um
Mm-hmm.
is So for me, I have to rest, take self-care, I have to
Mm-hmm.
meditate, I have to, like, again, close everyone's body energies for me, including
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes I have to like cut cords with my guides. It's not like you're cutting cords, it's just saying that, guides, I just need some space from myself. And I don't feel bad, because I know they know that I need to maintain a space, and I need to come back to, grounding, need to come back here, and I need to find myself. And my guides know that I'm going to find my way back. So they know that I
Yeah.
just need that time. And there's nothing wrong with cutting cords with your guides or asking space. For me, sometimes I just need space. And sometimes I need space from, family, friends. There's nothing wrong with that. But usually when I go that deep, where I'm like, I need to cut cords with everybody, I need to be away from everybody, I need to be away from my spirit guides, that just means that I have hit my maximum peak, and my head is gonna blow up. so
Yeah.
so that means that I need to do a deeper spiritual detox. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that if I don't detox myself, something could trigger, and it could trigger all these problems in which, I could have just prevented. My the
Mhm.
one my spiritual detox story is like I started. My biggest one is from work. So I was working as a massage therapist, and of course, I thought I was fine. Okay, I thought I was fine. Everything's fine, but no, I was not fine. You think you're fine until your body starts breaking down. So I started breaking down at work, and then I was like, I didn't want to do this anymore. I didn't want to heal people anymore. I didn't want to do spirituality anymore. I'm done with this.
Mhm.
And then it goes again. It goes so much that it gets into your mental head. Like it gets into your head, your body. Stressing out, and it gets into my head where my mentality was affected, where my emotions were affected. And basically, it was because I wanted to be in a hermit. I didn't want to deal with anything anymore. But
Mhm.
truly, I just needed to clear my space. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
And when I took so much time away, I did come back to that workplace later on. I was gone for like 6 to 8 months, and in that 6 to 8 months, my body was processing. Like that's how bad it was. I like mentally like separated everybody. I didn't want to do this anymore. But then I was working somewhere else. But then my mentality started coming back because I was clearing all this space and healing and clearing and healing all these wounds and stuff like that. And at the same time, I was doing this huge spiritual detox. And, I had to meditate, I had to do yoga, I had to flush all that energy out. And it was because the problem was I was holding everyone's energy for them.
Yeah. Yep.
So I was holding too much space and I was about to blow up. But then all of that came back, like it was now I learned my lesson is like, about spiritual detox is like, when it's time to do it, it's time to do it. Don't ignore, don't avoid it, don't be ignored.
Mhm.
Don't say that it's going to be okay, you're fine, you're okay, you're not fine. If you're not fine, then you are not fine. You need to clear that space. So, but
Mhm.
I did come back to that workplace and I explained to them like I had, a lot of stress and there was a lot of things that were happening and they were okay and they took me back and everything's
Awesome.
fine again. But things got better. So, what the weird thing is about that workplace was when that happened to me and I left suddenly, everything in my workplace shifted. It was like
Mm.
that was weird. I was like, it's like this is weird. Everything's moving my way. It's in vibration. I
Yeah.
guess it is. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Ooh, that's awesome.
yeah. So,
Nice. Awesome. Thank
all
you for sharing
right.
that.
Yes. So I think me, Desiree, and Jill have a new series that we're starting, and it's wellness lifestyle series. This series is going to be a very long time. I'm just telling you, it's a very a,
Very long series.
yeah, it's a very very long series. But we have broken it down to increments, so small pieces. So the
Mhm.
first 8 weeks, we're going to be talking about managing our spiritual wealth of our health, which is like spiritual lifestyle detoxification. That was today. So next week we're going to be talking about like home and environmental detox. So this is not just based at home, but our environments, like work, places that you shop, ways to kind of like detox that environment, and kind of like learning how to managing those type of energies. Then we're going to go into food and habits and addiction detoxing. And then we're going to go into how using yoga to help declutter and clearing our mentality. And also, like, toxic and negative energy, understanding the environment around you, mindfulness and meditation, and also like working with your spiritual guides and with self care and maintenance. And then we have a few other series, but I'm just gonna let you know. One is about energy medicine. We'll have a whole series about energy medicine, and also we have another series about energy medicine for food. So food will be my favorite series to talk about because like I'm in that food phase where I'm learning about like soul food, and I have my
Mhm.
spirit guides and they're like helping me how to manage, your health a little better and stuff
Mhm.
like that. But otherwise, we're gonna talk about our fancy wancy retreat in Canada.
Yes. Yes. Yes, our retreat is going to be located in British Columbia, Canada, at Vedette Lake Retreat Center. And on this location, or at this location, is, they say, well, not they say, but there is an energy vortex there connected to ley lines, where it really, like, the energy frequency over there is higher, which will really give us that opportunity to heal and expand and transform. So we picked this location to better assist us in this healing and transformation during the summer solstice. So this retreat is going to be held from June 17th to the 22nd. We are going to be celebrating the summer solstice. So if you would like to join us in celebrating the solstice and also learning a lot about yourself in a much deeper way, connecting within, and coming into a space where you're surrounded by nature, but you're also off grid. There is going to be not electricity. How do you call it? Okay, so propane powered stuff. We are going to eat and cook food, but we're gonna disconnect from, like, the outside world, and really go inside, really go into ourselves, into our spirit, and delve into different practices. We're going to be getting into learning about mindfulness meditations, having sound bath healings, and yoga, and also many different workshops as well. So we are going to be posting about that in social media. So keep on the lookout for that on Facebook and Instagram. And feel free to ask us any questions if you have any. And our posts will direct you to the website for more information about the summer solstice retreat with Healing with Us.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Yeah, very excited. It's energetically, it's a very great. It's a beautiful energy. I already went there to the astral plane, so
you just couldn't wait. You couldn't wait, Maya.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you.
Is there a beautiful waterfall? Because I heard there was a beautiful waterfall.
So I'm gonna tell you how it happened. I didn't attend, so I was like, I was traveling, like people were calling me, they're taking me there in the astral plane, and I was just like, where am I? Yeah, like Lake Vinette. I'm like, I'm here, ready? But that was like, wait, are we in the right timeline? No, you're not in the right timeline, but this is Vendette. I was like, oh, this is what it looks like. Oh, it's really nice, beautiful. The people that I astral travel was beautiful energy. They even have gardens and wildflowers on the other side right there. So energetically, it was there was like these protectors. They were guarding that energy, the aurora field in that area. So the vortex is good. I'm feeling it's pretty good for me. I'm kind of excited just because it's off grid. Oh yeah, I was gonna say this is a good time for people to get away from their electronics and electricity, all that,
and spiritually detox.
Yeah, all those electrical energy that just around your body, and just giving yourself a few days just to rest, connect with nature, be aligned again, and then coming back, just coming back, because when you come back, then you're just gonna be like,
right.
You're gonna feel so much, you feel much better, more aligned, more excited, and also you'll also, if you're a person who's so used to your iPhone or Facebook or electronics, and we're gone with your electronics for 5 days, and you start like panicking, like, oh, I don't have access to the internet. That's how you know how dependent you are on your phone. So but this is also a good way for you to like heal, kind of like heal your bond with nature, heal your bond within yourself, and learn to trust yourself. So,
and you're gonna have us as your guides to just guide you through the journey. you know?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
And plus there'll be yoga and massages and energy work. So just
yes, energy work. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
all right.
Awesome.
All right.
All right.
So we're at the end of our live. So join us next week on home detoxification or home and environment detoxification next week. So all right, have a good
Yes.
night.
Awesome. You too. Have a good night. Bye.